So I'm Madhvi. I was born in Nairobi, but I spent a long time. My parents live in Eldoret, which is up country in Kenya, and so that's where I was schooling until I was 12, and then I left home and I came to the city to school until I was 18. So in my early life, I used to go to a local school, government school in Kenya, and we had a big family. As I moved to Nairobi, things changed because I got introduced to Bharatanatyam classical dance. So I was quite focused on that and performance. And my graduation for dance was in when I was 17 years old. And for that, I had to live with my dance teacher for a few months just to learn the language and just to live the dance. And so that was a big part of my upbringing and basically how my future was to form.
Okay.
I moved to Wales to study in Cardiff University. I was becoming a pharmacist, so that's how I ended up in Wales. And whilst I was there, I loved it. I loved everything about the city. I loved everything about the university, and I liked how it was so different. But back in the day, we didn't even have Cardiff Bay, for example. But it was a beautiful city to study in. And so when I did pharmacy and I graduated from Cardiff, I went to Kent to work. To do my pre-reg, and eventually I faded back from Kent. I went to London and then in Bristol and Bath, and I met my partner who was also a pharmacist from Wales. So we both, he was living in Newport, so we both moved back to Newport. Profession. My first diploma was when I graduated in dance, and it was pretty intensive. So after that, my 3-year course in pharmacy, and then I did my pre-reg, and we did some extra courses for pharmacy, etc. So the main change actually in my profession happened when I was in Wales. So my husband and I, we both are pharmacists, so we locumed around for a while just to get the feel of what's really ticking the list for us. And once we had settled, when we found a pharmacy, we found a pharmacy in a village in Wales, in Pont Newydd actually. So it was pretty tough because just as we were buying the pharmacy, the government shut the local surgery down, which meant our business would have a nosedive before we even started. And then slowly we picked up, there's also cultural issues because we were in a very, very tiny village in Wales. Yeah. And then as we picked up, we wanted to relocate to bigger premises, which is across the road. So we refurbished, so we used local craftsmen and carpenters. And my husband became a postmaster, so we wanted to have a post office there, which was, kind of like a watering hole for all the people who are coming to the pharmacy anyway. We built a library, and then 6 months down the line, the government shut the post office down. So that again was a bit of a whack to us. Anyway, so slowly as we were developing more and more rapport with the local community, I became a yoga instructor. And I did my qualification in London. As I came back, I thought of opening a wellness kind of a clinic. So already as part of pharmacy, we were doing wellness and something called medication use review, but we wanted to find out more about the holistic aspect of it. Yeah. So we got a grant for that to open up a small clinic. In the meantime, my husband fell quite ill, and we had to I had to fill in some gaps at work. But eventually, when everything settled down, I was a yoga instructor. I was also dancing. The career in Wales, Chapter Art Centre was amazing. The new theatre in Newport was really very supportive of all performances from us. The Arts Council of Wales, grants from them. So all in all, I had a pretty full life in Wales. Supported by the government and also the public. But Yeah, we won many awards for the pharmacy and the wholesale. We had a wholesale practice too by then, and one of our biggest achievements, I guess, was winning the best community pharmacy practice of the whole United Kingdom. So yeah, so that gave us a big boost, our staff and us, and we knew we were on the right track.
Yeah.
So slowly I had a few professions rolling at the same time. So I was dancing and performing with media, arts and documentary artists and trying to create new things. But I also was a yoga instructor, which I'd committed to, and I was also, the key pharmacist and business owner. So I was pretty much busy. And then I also became a mum. So it was, it was full on. Personally, it was, I always like to, I'm quite driven, so I always like to be in a busier space rather than an empty space. However, I had a lot of support from my husband, so he would, kind of help facilitate whatever I could, I wanted to do. But also, from my dance training, I have a very firm foundation on discipline and determination. I mean, our teacher, our guru, really kind of brought us, each one of us, like that. So I think that helped me everywhere in all my goals.
That's great.
Now I live in Kenya, and
Yeah.
it's a very, very different culture. It's a different surrounding. It's a different profession. I don't even practice pharmacy that much here. It's a different world for me. So my future is quite adrift to what it would have been if I had stayed in Wales. Now I'm a social entrepreneur here, so what I do is I work with period poverty. And so for now, as far as I can see in the near future, that the goal is to really help combat period poverty, especially in Kenya, through sustainable solutions. So I'm on my way, and there's much to be done, but I find I have quite a lot of leverage already. So, my next 5-year goal is really to focus on bringing light to this issue, especially in Kenya, but more than just bringing light, to also offer the solutions which can then be accepted in a wide scale, through the governments and through the big organizations. Achievement, when I was still younger, and I used to say, this is achievement, getting the awards is my achievement, or doing something well is my achievement. Now, I guess I'm middle-aged and I've redefined, and also being in Kenya in a third world, I've really redefined achievement. So for me, achievement is the fact that I want to wake up, and do something good. So that's what my personal achievement is. So in terms of giving young people advice, especially of color, or people who are just seeking to, reach their dreams, I really do think that if you do have a plan, make sure it's part of your passion plan. Make sure it's something you really want to do, so that you can spend your energy, your time, and your effort on something, and you would do it right without kind of burning out. You wouldn't find the fatigue that you would otherwise. I meet all sorts of really powerful women in my path, and I think the one woman who really made a difference in my life, she, when I moved to Kenya, I was quite disillusioned by the whole inequality in finances, in gender, etc. And I found myself quite frustrated and limited in what I could do. And all she said is, instead of moaning about it, do something about it. And so that really helped me change my whole attitude. And then I like to share with many people who want to do social things, or who have to achieve their dreams, but they just think it's too far. There is a story, the starfish story, and briefly, there's a little boy walking on the beach one direction, and a grandpa walking on the other side, and the old man just keeps seeing this boy bending down and getting up, bending down, getting up. And when they meet in the middle, he said, "Young man, what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm trying to save the starfish." And so the old man said, there's so many here, there's millions here, you can't do it. And so the boy bent down, picked up one, put it in the water, and he said, all I know is I've saved this one. So those people who are really feeling overwhelmed, I just, I think anything is a good thing. So for me personally, MWA has been absolutely, I found my footing through that. I found my own empowerment through that, and I found inspiration also because of the women you see, not just related to race. I'm just saying that just people who are so powerful and yet maybe quiet in their corner, still being mums, still cooking the dinners for the families,
Yeah.
but yet they are, they're very intelligent and capable and yeah, basically powerful. I found, I find, and I found, because I still find empowerment through that. I found my footing through their support.